Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of It's Called a Podcast, Sweetheart. I'm here with my ever-lovely co-host.
I'm PinkStar, so nice to be here. And of course, here we have also Andy Lagopus.
Thank you. We're getting into February, and wow, the year is flying by already. So I'd say let's just get into the news.
Yes, so, what news exactly we have? In January, we had a lot of information. Well, I wouldn't call it exactly information, but we had a bit of news regarding the movie because on New Year's, we had some promo regarding Gary, our new character for Zootopia 2.
Yes, because it's the Chinese New Year and Japanese New Year and the Year of the Snake in both countries, well, who better to represent it than Disney's newest snake? Some of the promo images they put out, like with all the art around Disneyland Shanghai and the statue they put up of him, he looks like such a goober.
Yes, and we also had some animation from him as well.
Yes, a little promo animation of the Year of the Snake showing fully rendered Gary. Again, looking like a total goober.
Yeah, it really does show how they try to make him as lovable as possible.
Mm-hmm. While still being kind of a mystery. Like, he's still not wearing clothes. He's still, like, super long. And he's still got that fang, so it's like, is he venomous? Is he a constrictor? We don't know yet. There's a lot that we'll have to wait and see on with regards to Gary. And one little bit of news that didn't actually make it on the site yet, but Disneyland Japan did a promo thing, and they gave a mini synopsis of Zootopia 2, kind of, sort of.
What other news do we have?
Well, we're assisting with a fundraiser to help one of our artists' moms out. She's been diagnosed with cancer, and we're trying to help out as we can. So if you could take a look at that article, there's a GoFundMe link there. That'd be great. Quirky has done so much art for us in the past, and, like, yeah, he's a really good friend, and we want to give back to him.
So let's do our best to support him in what we can.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of fundraising, okay, it's kind of callous to transition into a Patreon plug right after that, but, like, Zootopia News Network Patreon, patreon.com/ZNN, we do need it to keep running, and we've been kind of dipping a bit precariously low in terms of, like, how much money we're bringing in through the Patreon versus how much we need to run the site. So, guys, I'm asking very nicely, if you could support it, we will figure out rewards. Give us ideas for what sort of rewards you would like us to give, because we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. We're in the process of figuring stuff out, and it'll be really cool. This is going to be a great year, and we are super excited for Zootopia 2, and let's make sure ZNN stays afloat.
And also don't forget that ZNN is close to celebrating its 9-year anniversary. So you can also give us some ideas of what would you like for to celebrate those 9 years, or any other thing you would like to see.
Yes, exactly. And that takes care of it for the news, I think. I mean, really excited. We're getting a lot of new content and promos and stuff. And speaking of new content, guess who we have here today?
Yes, because this episode is unique, another unique episode because we have a special guest.
Yes, and this one is not just anyone. Allow me to introduce Alessandro Ranaldi, the artist of the new run of Zootopia comics from Dynamite Entertainment. These are official comics published by Disney and Dynamite. Well, published by Dynamite, licensed by Disney. It's official content. And it is so good to have official content again. It has been so long.
So many years.
Alessandro has been a comic artist for several years. He's worked on comics such as... He's worked on the Powerpuff Girls, he's worked on Disney's Hercules, he's worked on the Hades comic for Disney Villains, and he's worked on a whole bunch of stuff. Even Vampirella vs. Red Sonja. He's been working in comics for a while, and it is very cool to see his style brought to the world of Zootopia. So, without further ado, Alessandro Ranaldi, thank you for coming on the show.
Hi everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very glad to be on ZNN podcast, and I apologize for my macaroni English. I'm a little rusty, but I'll do my best.
No worries at all. No worries at all.
Yeah, you're fine.
Thank you.
All right. So, first off, I am curious, like, you've been working in the comics industry for a long time, but how did you get your start?
I always loved comic book since when I was a kid. But working with comic book, it is not easy. So I started working as a 2D graphic designer, but I get bored after some time, and so I did. After the high school of art here in Italy, I studied in a private school of comic book, and when I just started there, I met my teacher. I don't know if I can if I can say his name, and I don't know if I can, but his name is Vincenzo Federici. And he's the main artist of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And I started working. Yeah. We're close friends now, and I started working with him. And he's a great guy, and I learned a lot from him. And he introduced me in the American comic book world. So I started working with American mythology some years ago on Zorro, and it was quite funny, I have to say. It's a great character. And years after that, I started working with Dynamite, and with you mentioned before, Vampirella versus Red Sonja. So yeah.
And how do you go from Vampirella versus Red Sonja to Disney Comics?
Yeah, it was quite a twist, I have to say. I never imagined to work with, cartoonish style. But my editor, Nate Cosby, wrote me and asked me if I was interested in do some Disney comic. There was a chance to work on Disney villain Hades, and I did a test with the character, with Hades and his companion of the story. Luckily, I got the job, and that's it. So now I'm focused on Disney style, because as you mentioned, I've worked with Hades, and as a cover artist for Hercules, for Scar, and now I'm lucky to be on the Zootopia world.
Yeah, well, that is fantastic. Quite a difference. So I'm surprised that they have, like, you said that there are specific schools for comic art?
Yes,
that is super cool.
yeah, it is. This was a small one in Salerno. This is a city near to Naples, and it was fun. They were really nice years, because I'm a bit old, and it was fun to challenging myself again to start from zero with the youngs, and it was really fun. Yeah, I got a lot of good memories in my of that school.
Awesome. So I guess kind of with the art study, I guess you would consider your mentor one of your bigger influences, but like artistically, you've got a very unique style. It's very dynamic and very. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like I'm struggling to figure out the words. It's so unique. It's really cool.
I'm glad that you think of it. Thank you. It's like I don't know. I think a mix of things that I like because I read many things. Like I love also manga and anime.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I'm a big otaku fan. So yeah.
Oh, yes.
So when there's something that I truly love that inspire me, I just I figured it out how to put or incorporate in my style or in a specific scene, and it will be weird, but I find it's easier on a cartoonish style. You know, I find it more easily on my recent project with there's a lot of freedom with anatomy and scene. There was something that I cannot do with Zorro. You have some rules that you have to follow, like a defined stylistic vision of the character.
Yeah, that it should. It sounds like a quite challenge, like different from doing an original story with its characters than using, in this case, a licensed IP where everything's already established and you had to use that as starting point to create a new story. I mean that original comic, as in that something completely different that it's not been out there before. But I seen with a franchise that's already been established with its own rules, you have to use that so you can create something different, but with already what's established with the characters and the setting for them.
Yeah, that's true. I have to follow, especially with Zootopia. I have to say, Disney
Mhm.
is very careful with this character.
Yeah, we were
You
going to ask about that.
I have to really be strict to the model. But when you're working on a cartoonish style, you got freedom in the action scene or the way that you can show something. Like if I have to. Okay, this will be tough to to describe this in not my first language, but I'll try. When sometimes there are some frame where you see all the landscape and Judy or Nick, they are so small that you cannot see them, but with this cartoonish style I can just create a balloon with their head. Yeah, you
I
got it.
actually just opened to that exact image you're talking about.
Yeah, that's it's a funny way and a scamotage for this kind of situation, but with the realistic comic book, you just cannot do that. So I found myself more comfortable with this kind of style. Of course, I cannot take freedom with the already existing character, but I got a chance to draw something new, like the companion that you see also in the first issue, the zebra and the mask that is swimming. So that
Mhm.
uh, you got the chance to do something of your own, even if it's an already existing IP.
Yeah, that's really cool because I am definitely seeing like some anime influences, like with what's her name, the cat character, like that panel where her they are just running and Nick and Judy are trying to keep up. That is so anime. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and you do a great job with the action scenes in particular, I must say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love action scene. I have to say the dynamic scene. So also in manga, is the thing that I, my favorite kind of scene to draw. And with this kind of comic book, you can put a lot of things, like the scene where the cat, I don't recall, maybe it was an ocelot, maybe, because in Zootopia, cats and dogs do not exist. But I got
Yeah.
the chance. Yeah, they're all savage animal,
Mhm.
if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
I'm looking
not
for.
domesticated ones. Yes.
I'm.
So I get the chance, where she's dashing, and she's so fast that she creates this wind, and like it's pushing the clothes of Nick all over the place, like his tie is going all over the place. So it was quite fun to do it. You'll see more in the other issue, I'll show you.
And
Yeah.
here I'd like to ask, were there any difficulties in the design, as in because, well, the characters are originally in 3D style as we see in the movie. So going in 2D for them, was there any issue on that?
Yeah, this is actually a big challenge. I have to say. Of course, I'm still working on the series, so I drew them a lot. So now I'm finding a way to. I think that they are right. Okay, they're not so bad because I hate my older drawings. So when I see them, I just hate them.
Every artist I've ever talked to says that.
Yeah, I know it's a bit cliche, I know, but it is the truth. But because now I'm watching the pages of the first issue, and yeah, they have changed a lot. But it was very very difficult because when I work in, for example, on 80s, well, it's a masterwork art on 2D. You can find online the studies of 80s. The turnaround of the character, and you have just to follow the the path, and the character came out. It's
Mhm.
uh, so few line, and you have and his design just came out of the page. It's an incredible character. I found it also easy to draw him. It's so fresh, and you can just capture it. But with 3D characters, yeah, it has been challenging. To find the freedom also to make them some weird expression, like Nick. He always so cool, and it was hard when you draw it, like when he is scared or surprised, and it's easy to go off model. And every time I take too much freedom, I got notes on that. So they say, no, 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 not like that, not like that. But uh, I'm happy that I think that I find the correct way to draw them. So I'm quite happy for this.
That sounds amazing. And
Yeah.
well, this is Disney and everything. Did they have to proofread the comic before it had to be published?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, it does take time. We're working on the series several months now, and they just check everything from the draft, the pencil. So yeah, they're very very careful with this IP. I have to say, much more in here that with the other IP that I have worked on. They care a lot for Zootopia, to have Zootopia faithful, with the tone and the stylish of the movie. Uh, I can feel the pressure when I'm working on it. I know that I'm working on something that it's really important for a lot of people, and
Mhm.
um,
Us especially.
yeah, And when I in the first stages of this work, when we were talking a lot with Disney, yeah, I felt like let's hope that I can that I can make it this time. So, but luckily everything is going it's going well.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. So I'm very happy about it. I'm happy that it's so well received. A lot of people is super happy. So yeah, I was nervous. I'll admit it. I was a bit nervous.
Well, okay, so you mentioned sort of the process from like penciling onward. For those of us who are not as familiar with the comics industry, what does the process look like for you? Like from start to finish? Because you said Disney was heavily involved. So how did that look like on this comic compared to other works you've done?
So usually I got the script. You know, sometimes is the full issue, the 20 page, but sometimes it's a part of it. So I can start with the first pages, and usually I do a layout phase, but every artist take this phase differently. There are people who do rug sketches, but I prefer to make some defined pencil, especially with this IP, because if I do a rough sketch, I usually get a note when they just seem to me, Judy is not like this. Be careful with the length of her ears or her anatomy. You have to put more attention in here. So I just prefer to make some clear and defined pencil, especially on the facial expression, so they'll know that with the inks, the the second phase, um, I just get the design right. So I'll do the so I'll just send this blue pencil, and I wait for their approval, and then I'll proceed with the inks. And in other comic book, I just receive note from the script writer. But in this case, I got note from the script writer, so Jeff Parker, but also from Disney. Usually from Disney, I have to say. Yeah.
I've heard they're very protective of their IP,
Yeah,
to say the least.
at least, yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's a good thing, I have to say. It's a good thing. So I prefer to add a lot of notes because I just want to get it right, like
Mhm. Yeah.
the best version possible. So it is better this way.
Okay. So I guess I've got a kind of a follow up question on that. What were some of the rules that they gave you for the characters' designs?
Oh, there, there a lot. What do you want to know?
Well, okay, so like Nick and Judy, they've got very specific styles and such, like proportions and things of that sort.
Absolutely. Their their heights, like Judy is a lot smaller of Nick, and sometimes when I was drawing fast, there were like quite the same in some rock sketches, but it's not that way. Of course, Judy is smaller than Nick, and also I got a lot of note on Chief Bogo because I like to draw him very angry. But they just keep reminding me that in the world of Zootopia, there's a rage issue with savage animal, so we have to be careful to be clear that he's he's angry, is upset, but he's not mad angry like a savage animal. I don't know
Mm.
if you got this.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah,
Got to keep the anger distinct from insanity.
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
He had.
Because I went super wild on the first. They said, Chief Bogo is angry. So I was like, yeah, all right, fire in his eyes. And they were like, no, whoa, slow down. So I just tuned it down.
Oh,
Okay.
just portrayed
And-
as being serious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, he's stern and no nonsense, but with the temper, but not that much. Okay, that's cool.
And also, we worked a lot with the tone of, let's say, violence. We of course we're talking about cartoonish violence, but they were careful even of that. Sometimes I drew like in the chase scene where Judy catch the criminal.
She threw a bucket, yeah?
The bucket, yeah, I was going with the with the translator right now. Yeah, the bucket in his stomach. But in the first version, she just kicked him in the face. But they thought it was maybe too much for her. She's not so aggressive. She's tough, but she's not so violent. So I got with the idea of her taking the bucket that in the previous pages he threw on it.
See, that's cool, because that also shows she's resourceful.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And what about for the original characters? And I probably should have said earlier, spoilers for Zootopia #1, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
We forgot about that.
But for some of the original characters, like the zebra, Trip Zebrano,
Yeah.
I'm sure you ran into the issue of how the heck is he holding this thing with hooves?
No. I have to say I was very happy to. I love Joe new character. I have to say I love Joe animals. I also Joe a creator-owned project here in Italy with also with animals. I love it. So when I got a chance to create a new one, it's always super fun. So Jeff started to notice this thing on me, and he just gave me notes like have fun with this, and which it was fun. It was just an enthusiastic genius guy. I just went I just followed the flow, and he came out. I had a lot of fun with him. We will see more of him in the future issues.
Nice. So, out of all the characters, which were your favorites to draw, like, of the new ones?
Oh, the squirrel. Absolutely the squirrel.
The streamers?
Yeah, the streamer, because I can say this, they will return and they are super funny. In this first issue, I just got a page. It was one of the very first pages, Joey. So I almost forgot them, but they will return, and in a very funny scene. I have to say, Jeff is going super wild with the new issues. They're super fun. So I just start laughing, and then I draw them. So it's a really lovely project. This.
I had to have another dub here. I just came up in my mind because currently you are doing this Zootopia comics, and the second movie it's coming out on late November this year. Do you? Well, you don't have to tell us what it will be, but does Disney given you any sort of information or something regarding the sequel, or are they keeping that a secret?
Oh no, super secret. We are working with the material that are already existing in the first movies, especially for Jeff. He, if I remember correctly, in an interview, he just stated that he came with ideas for some new this strict in Zootopia, but they say no, you cannot create something completely new because there's the second movie that is coming out, and so we have to be careful with this. So there is no, we don't know anything about the movie. Also, you mentioned before the new character, the snake, Gary. It's the first reptile that we see. So in this series of Zootopia, you won't find any reptile or any bird, just like the movie.
Okay,
Okay.
so this series is not meant to bridge the gap. It's meant to be short stories like that took place in between the movies, but also like doesn't lead into the next one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a story that takes place in this gap of time between the movies.
Okay, right. Because I was thinking that, well, because there's still some months until the movie releases, like, I'm pretty sure that the ideas between the comics and the movie can't clash between each other. Like, if you're creating something that, or a storyline that perhaps it's a bit too similar to what they are have already planned for the movie, I don't know if they say that perhaps to change things a little bit because it will kind of like seemed like it was
Too similar?
yeah, exactly, like it will make it will be strange, it'll appear weird that a storyline created for a comic it's similar to the movie that is going to come out. That's why I was wondering, like, if you already it have told you some kind of like general knowledge about the second movie to keep this from happening. But I think the what they want to do is just to what proof really say that perhaps this has to be fixed or something.
No, they didn't say anything with me, so I don't know if in in the scripting phase, the scripting stage, if they say something to Jeff, but I don't think so. They were just very careful to capture the tone of the character. It was important that Nick and Judy act like Nick and Judy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, no, absolutely.
All
Okay.
right.
So basically, the comics are canon until, like, unless the second movie contradicts something, in which case that takes precedence.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's of course
Okay.
it's canon. Yeah, because it's one of the many cases that that you are following,
Mhm.
uh, and then we'll see. We will just see what the movie will bring to us.
I guess that does raise another question, though. Like, why now? Like, he, Zootopia's been out for almost like 9 years at this point. Do you have any idea why, like, the official comic is getting made now and not earlier?
No, I have to say no. I don't know why, and honestly,
Okay.
I
I
don't know
didn't
why.
figure.
Also, the movie takes so much time. I don't know. I think that the first one is just an incredible movie with an incredible world building. So I was expecting a second movie earlier. I have to say. So I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Oh, I forgot also to ask, had you watched Zootopia before working on the comic?
I've rewatched Zootopia before starting on working on it. Yeah, yeah, of course, because as you mentioned, it's been like I don't know, mm, 9 years maybe if I'm
Hmm.
correct.
Yeah, coming up on that.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things that I have forgotten. So I saw it for a second time with my wife, and when I take the job for the series. So just like to get again my feet into that world to see how the character interacts with them, or especially on Zootopia on the city, because my first task was to do the cover, and as I mentioned,
Hmm.
I have to draw um, different places of Zootopia. So I put a lot of attention on that part.
And speaking of, that is a fantastic cover.
Thank you so much.
I've got one of the variants. So they did a lot of variant covers for this first issue, and one of them you did a variation on your own cover, sunset variant. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got one of those. There were only 100 of them made, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they went really wild with the with the variant cover of Zootopia. I have to say, in Italy, we just in the last year we started to see um, variant for comic book. It's like something new. It's not something so big like it is in the USA. So yeah, when I started working the American market, it was quite a surprise for me to see that especially the first issue of a new series, got something like 20 plus variant cover. It's massive. Also for Zootopia. I When Nate asked me for the Sunset variant cover, I already finished my work on the cover, on the regular cover of the series. So, and I was on in my honeymoon with my wife. So he brought me when I was in Japan.
Oh,
Wow.
So my wife was not so happy. But
bad timing.
I just say that, yeah, I was like, don't worry, go to sleep. I will just draw in, in the hotel at night.
Just change the lighting around, like.
Yeah. A couple of nights, and it went well. Yes.
Yeah, it turned out fantastic.
Thank you so much. I got a so for this I got a sweet memory, of that cover for this reason.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Do we have any final questions, Pinkstar?
I'm trying to think of another question.
Do you ever draw Zootopia characters just for the fun of it?
Oh, uh, hmm. Recently, yeah, because I have to next month I have to go on a convention here in Italy. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm
cool.
sketch. Yeah. So I've been sketching the two of them, especially Judy. I just love Judy's characterization style. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of doodle and yeah. So recently, yes, I have to say, in the first stages of the work, I was super rigid, and I don't know how to say, uh, steady with the character, like if I was scared, of. but uh, but now I truly enjoy to draw them, especially Judy. I have to say, she's just adorable, with such a big eyes. She's so cute. Yeah, I love
Don't call her that.
it.
I just came up with a silly question, if it can
All right.
be asked. Now that you mentioned about going to a convention in Italy, have you ever gone to another? Well, I'll just try to say it. Do you think you could ever go to a San Diego Comic Con or something as big as that?
I don't know if I will attending to the San Diego Comic Con, but
Or any conventions in the States?
the New York Comic Con absolutely this year. So if you, I don't know, if you want just
All right.
to drop by for a hike, you can find me there. Yeah, it will be my second time in New York. It's amazing. It's an incredible con.
Awesome. Well, I'll have to see if I can catch it there.
Yeah, it will be fun. So looking forward to.
I'll have you sign the Sunset variant.
Absolutely, I will do with pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And everyone, you can check out his Instagram at ran_a.92 if you want to check out more of his work. Do you have any other socials you want to shout out?
Oh, I'm also on X. You can just search me on Alessandro Ranaldi. But I just I'm a boomer, so I have to say that I just when I do something new, I just share Instagram, X, Facebook. Okay, done. So so you'll see the same content, but you can find me also on X. And if I can say, I want just to thank you. A lot of people on X, they are writing me. They're expressing a lot of love for the series, and it's it's incredible. So thank you everybody for writing me and for all this love for Zootopia and for my work. It's really something, I have to say. It catch me off guard when it happened, and it's really something. So thank you so much, everyone.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming on the podcast. It's been so fun talking with you about this. Like, your work is fantastic, and it's always a pleasure to talk to a phenomenal artist who's doing such good work. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. And until next time, remember, patreon.com/ZNN. And until next time, boom.
Bye.
Bye.